why don't you, Klaus, start by introducing yourself?
Okay, hello. My name is Klaus Klingner. I'm one of the IT security officers here at Allianz Technology. Allianz Technology is the IT service provider for Allianz globally. And I'm working in the business applications area. So I'm responsible for around, I think, 160 services in the security area or rather the security side of these. I'm also a data privacy specialist, and my hobby, so to say, is user security awareness. And here I really like to work with developers, because developers are really a special kind of people, and they're usually fun to work with.
Awesome. Yeah, well, it's really good to have you on here. And so the topic that we want to talk about today is about DevOps and CI/CD. So why don't you? Hi, Matthias, Klassen, Jason, and Carmen. Welcome. So we should just quickly go around. I've just got a regular coffee today. What about you guys?
I'm just done with lunch.
Oh, okay. We just missed you then. What about you, Akash?
Well, lunch is in half an hour for us, so I'm sticking to water for now.
So it's the coffee water chat again.
Yeah.
But anyway, great. Yazad said, "Hello all. Hope all is well with you and your family." Thanks, Yazad.
Hi, Yazad.
So, Klaus, if you want to kind of introduce what we're going to be talking about, and then we can get things fired up.
Yeah. I mean, basically, all of you are hopefully aware with the normal DevOps cycle. And what I would like, at the discussion I would like to start today is about extending the CI, CD, or CD, CI, however you want to phrase it, concept with two additional letters that, in my opinion, are constantly left out. Just let me show you. I'll just take over the screen for a second. Share screen. And yeah, so you will, just a second. And I will show. Yeah, it's not allowing me to show. Okay, and then we'll do it this way. Time. Hey, it doesn't allow me to, for some reason, it doesn't allow me to share my.
If you send me over the link, I can share it on my screen, Klaus.
Yeah, it's not a link. It's a presentation I have. So.
Oh, okay.
Now I have it. Okay. Now it's here. Okay. I mean, all of you, this is a normal software development cycle, and I mean, most of you. I mean, there is one of the letters that I've been referring to, which should be added, is actually already in there, the testing. However, something that is quite often forgotten is security. And so I'm a bit reluctant to always call it DevOps. I really like to call it DevSecOps.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just show, and this is what I wanted to show to you. At the moment, CDCI is the special buzzword we all know. But however, deployment and integration are not everything. We should also have a continuous security implementation and a continuous testing in there. And because having a C before all of the starting letters would make it too long, I just made it a C bracket, dist bracket, like in the math. Mm-hmm. So the new acronym, in my opinion, should not be CDCI, but CDist. And it's easy to remember by calling it continuously walk the extra distance, CDist. Okay. And basically, this is my theory about this, and some thoughts I wanted to give you about some numbers, why this is so important. As you know, there are quite a few developers. In 2019, the number I found was 26.4 million developers worldwide. I have not found a current statistic about the gender division in this, but I know we here have a few very good female developers, but I think the ratio is about 20% female developers to 80% males. And these developers have written, and this is million, billion, trillion, so 1.32 trillion lines of code in 2019, which also is quite a lot. And if you take a look how the CVE exploits developed between the start of the CVE and 2020, you can see that it has multiplied like rabbits. And especially in the last few years, we've had a very big increase. You can see here a big increase in 2016. And if you take a look in 2019, there were alone, just in 2019, more than 17,000 exploits reported, which means nearly 50 exploits per day. And in 2016, only about 6,000 exploits have been reported. And as not every bug or every security issue is reported as a CVE, you can expect that this number is only the tip of the iceberg. And I believe this makes it very necessary that we really start thinking more about continuous security and continuous testing in our CDIST processes. What do you think? Now it's up to you.
Yeah, so I'd love to hear from some people in the audience. So let us know if you have any questions based on what you just saw. In the meantime, Carmen says she's on coffee too. We have Fabian, Hash, Alex, and another LinkedIn user who've all said hi. So I think we'll just give people a minute to kind of put forward the questions. Akash, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, I think some very interesting points there. So my area of expertise in terms of recruitment has been on the DevSecOps side and application and product security. So, I understand in terms of the software development lifecycle, the SDLC always has to be secure. If there is no security in the SDLC, you're going to get a lot of exploits. You're going to get a lot of, vulnerabilities coming in there. So I think you made a very good point. SDLC and DevOps should always be continuously secure. So secure SDLC is definitely a priority. And when we talk about DevOps, I think DevSecOps is definitely more of a norm now than DevOps. So it both goes hand in hand anyway. So I think the challenge at the moment is finding good DevSecOps candidates, because quite a lot of these DevSecOps candidates come from a DevOps background anyway. And quite a lot of the companies at the moment are starting to realize the need for a continuous, secure development lifecycle, like the point that you made, Klaus. So yeah, this has been a challenge from my side, and I totally agree with what you've said in terms of the CI/CD pipeline. It's always going to be continuously secure.
Yeah, I mean, but what you just said, this is also something I see in my daily work in terms of security awareness. I have already said that my special area of work is security awareness for developers, and this includes continuous training, So another letter, another T. Maybe we should change the T in CDist to training, because I mean continuous training of the developers is so important. I often seen that developers are being sent to a block training, so they're gone for a week, non-productive for a week. They come back, have it internalized, and after 3 weeks, they are back into the old trot. And this is also a reason why I believe we have to have continuous training in this, where what we are also doing it. And I mean, to make this more attractive for developers, it's gamification is really a keyword. I mean, I see you two in front of me now, and you're quite a few years younger than I am, and and probably also gamers. I mean, I know you are not developers but recruiters, but I know many developers are also avid gamers, or vice versa. Many avid gamers are also developers. The latest statistic is around 60%, and so really to internalize this into the developers, we have to give them continuous training that they like to do.
Yeah.
And the key really is continuous training in form of gamification.
Gamification is just a huge part of that, yeah, especially with cyber. I mean, we've had various people speak on this topic before, which I'm not quite sure if you were on that one, Akash. Was essentially talking about the same things you are, Klaus. It's a new level of getting people engaged. It gives them more incentive to join in. It draws attention for longer. And with something so critical such as this, you can't afford to skip that.
Yeah, I agree. I was on the call with I think it was a professor, was it? I can't remember the name. Yeah, that's the one, Theodore.
So you were on that one, yes.
Yeah, and he made some very good points in terms of, especially when the developers, their day-to-day jobs is very, very, it can become stalemate if they're doing the exact same thing over and over again, and it's very important to keep them engaged in terms of, especially if you're going to be putting them out of their comfort zone, doing something that they're not used to in terms of personnel training, putting them on training programs, and new content for them. It's very, very important that we bring some of those gamification aspects into it to keep them engaged throughout a continuous process, not just like a little block of 6 weeks. It's got to be throughout their whole career. They have got to keep on top of it and be engaged.
And I mean, in the same area, I mean, we need. I believe we do need to rethink the way we live our SDLC. I mean, one of the things was we mentioned before: continuous training, continuous testing, continuous security. But on the other hand, I mean, what a concept we are currently testing is a pen tester in residence. So basically, the pen test is not taking place after everything is finished and nobody knows anymore how things were written, but the pen test is done on every finished component immediately together with the developer. So first of all, this has a big advantage of it takes away the fear of the developer, of the pen tester. I mean, they are, so to speak, natural enemies. To say it in a drastically, but basically it gives the pen tester more insight into the way the developer is working, and the developer more insight into what the pen tester is actually doing to break his code. And this is magic.
Yeah. I guess if we're talking about the end goal being secure, right? Security, it makes more sense that they would work together instead of functioning as enemies. Jason says, he was just thinking about that too, pen testing in the SDLC.
I mean, having a pen tester in the office every day or something can be a bit expensive. I mean, if you think here in Germany, a pen tester is around 1.2k euros per day. But what makes sense here is maybe not have the pen tester in the office every day, but maybe once a month for a week or something like this.
Yeah.
And if you consider the costs of fixing a bug, I mean, all of you may know this statistics. Oops, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, for some reason my laptop just makes trouble. Okay, I wanted to show you something again. Okay, now it's here again. Let me see, share.
Just while you're doing that, Lee said we use gamification in our cybersecurity training. It works so well with the team. I would love to hear more about that, Lee. Whether you want to give us a comment now or whether you want to chat about it later. Carmen said, "Never heard of gamification strategy. Learned something new." Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad you learned something new. But it's really interesting to look into. You can actually find the event me and Nakash are talking about to learn more about gamification on our website, or we can send that over to you later. I think we can see your screen now, Klaus.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that is often said is that all this costs money. How do we finance this? If a manager asks me this question, I just show him this slide, and it works like wonders. So basically what it says is, while a system is still in development, fixing a bug is around 100 euros. If the application is already in QA testing, fixing the same bug could cost around 1,500 euros. And if it's already in production, it's 10,000 euros to fix a bug because of all the retesting, redeployment, reintegration you have to do. And if you catch the bugs in the development phase already, you can save 9,900 euros. And you can do a lot of things with 9.9k euros. Yeah. So
I think that's a very interesting point, Klaus. Again, so what's your thought on DevSecOps engineers who carry out the code reviews and the pen tests themselves along the software development lifecycle?
I'm a bit critical about that because if you wrote the code yourself, you develop a bit of a blindness to your own mistakes.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of pair programming, for example, where you have a partner who catches your mistakes and you catch his or her mistakes. But I believe a pen test or also a security review should always be done by an independent party. I mean, very, very, very good if a DevSecOps engineer can do it, can fix his own mistakes, but he will miss some.
Yeah.
And these mistakes will then be caught by the independent reviewer.
Yeah, I know
it's just
that.
The same as. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. All right. So I was going to say, I know that some of the clients that I work with, where we have placed DevSecOps engineers previously, I always ask them, all the specifics of how they operate in terms of how the projects are undertaken, because I need to pass that information back onto the candidate. And quite a lot of the companies, they do that, the pairing process that you said, Klaus, and they usually pen test each other's codes as well. So I do understand why you are critical in terms of testing your own code, but it's good to see that some of the companies do pair up these DevSecOps engineers and they test each other's codes. What are your thoughts on that?
As I said, pairing them up is okay, but even then, having somebody from the outside look at your code will always give you a new insight. I mean, yeah, okay, many hackers are actually insiders from a company, but when I started programming or web application programming, I didn't know that it wasn't possible to make a mainframe talk to a web server. I didn't know it wasn't possible, so I did it. Yeah, actually, my program, the host, the mainframe, communicated with a web server, and everybody had told me afterwards, well, it doesn't work. Guys, it works. So maybe if I have if certain patterns are established in a company, I need somebody to break these patterns, and that is only possible for an outsider.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just the same concept, right? As when you write something, um, you're so drawn into it that there's things you won't catch, and there are things people with outside perspectives will catch, and that's why you always want kind of a diverse team and diverse thinking on this. So I think you're right. Yeah.
I mean, the best test or the best software tester is, I would say, 4-year-old child. If your application can survive the attack of a 4-year-old who doesn't know anything about computers, who will just type something in, then okay, then you're fairly good already. And so use somebody who doesn't know your application. My father actually is an oculist and ophthalmologist, sorry. And many years ago, we went to a software fair to buy a software for his office. And the first thing we did was we would put in February 30th into a date field. And you wouldn't believe how many of those programs just ate that. And nobody sane would put in February 30th into a date field. It's just not done. So the programmer said, okay, we don't need a check. And these were professional programs.
Yeah, I guess it's a really good point on like what you can expect from humans. So you wouldn't expect someone to write that, but someone could easily write that by mistake. Whether they're just changing the month and leaving the date from a previous day or anything like that, it just invites human error. And if the system isn't set up for that, it's not going to catch it, and it's just going to go through. So essentially, you want to stress test it.
Yeah, stress test and do things you wouldn't do.
That's a really good point. Yeah. What do you think, Agash?
Yeah, I agree. It's like in the development of anything, security is always going to be the king. Like you said, you want to avoid the costs, the future costs once it gets into production. So, yeah, secure SDLC is the way forward. Like you said, Klaus. Yeah.
Awesome. So I think we've got a few minutes left. If anyone has any questions, fire them away, and we'll make sure to answer them. And Klaus, do you have any more points you want to cover?
I see that here. Okay, I'm just reading through the comments here. I know the KnowBe4 platform. I mean, we are using Secure Code Warrior, for example, which is, in my eyes, a very good software. I mean, I do know KnowBe4, and I know the way they work. I know some of the people. Maker, checker, or the 4 eyes concept, Yazet. I don't know really what you mean. The 4 eyes concept, yes. I want to start my career in cybersecurity. Which skill should I focus most?
That may be a question for one of our other events. I can definitely send over some of our other events which are more focused on starting your career in cybersecurity for anyone who's got questions on that.
But one of the skills to focus is keep security simple, easy as that. Simple and usable.
Yeah, of course. As some of you may know, we ran a series of interviews with experts, which we're going to start releasing today and over the next few weeks. And one of the biggest things people said was just the communication is so important, whether you're in a technical or a non-technical role. Communicating your concepts and things over to people is so important. It's probably one of the most valuable skills that, according to the 60 or so people we spoke to, at least. Are you still with us, Klaus?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. So we're about finished here. So I just want to thank everyone for attending. This has been a really interesting talk, and I would love to also continue this discussion in the future. Thanks, of course, to Akash for your time, and a huge thanks to Klaus for putting this together.
No worries.
Anytime.
Thank you, guys.
So
if there are questions, just contact me through LinkedIn.
We've also got the Cyber Lounge where you can jump in there and we'll chat about this. The recording will be available in the future. So for anyone who is watching this on the recording, you can obviously ask any questions to any of us in the Cyber Lounge, or you can connect with us on LinkedIn. But other than that, I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of the day.